Today's question is from a fellow subscriber who wants to know what are some great starter breeds for newbies wanting to do dressage. Right after this. Hey guys, Nolan here. First, a quick big shout out to all you new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing and the 1,000 views on my 1 day old video, which if you haven't seen it, you should just check it out right here. Today we're back to normal videos.
Nolan.
That's Karen. Karen's new here. Karen likes to jump in when I don't clarify myself well enough, and she likes to make me clarify things, sometimes a little condescendingly. So you might just notice her around. Today's question is, what are some great starter breeds for newbies wanting to do dressage? So first we start with, what are you expecting to do with this? I want to go Grand Prix, I want to do Prix-St. George, or I want whatever, anything high level? Or are you in a hunter jumper who's going, I just want to better my riding? In the hunters, there's this game, at least in my area, there's this game where you have to go buy the horse for the discipline. And this is what I would like to point out very clear right now. Dressage isn't like that. I mean, there are people like that in the dressage world, like there is all over. We aren't so focused on it. In the hunter world, it's not abnormal that every 3 or 4 years you go and buy a new horse because you did everything with that horse. With dressage, it's long term. And somebody tells you otherwise, they're wrong. Because as I say, dressage is about enhancing what the horse is already giving you and making them a bit better. It's not about, well, if you don't have a flashy horse, get the hell out. Or it shouldn't be. So let's say you have a thoroughbred or a Clydesdale or an Arab or a quarter horse. All these breeds, they can all do pretty much a leg yield. They can do a shoulder and they can do a rein back. They can do stuff like that. You can teach them this stuff. You don't need to go out and buy a big flashy ass mover. That's to be able to do the beginnings of dressage. Any horse pretty much can do dressage up to level 2.
But Nolan.
I told you she was going to be here. Okay, so maybe not every horse can do low-level dressage. Obviously, there are situations that don't allow your horse to do, dressage. I'm not talking about like the average Joe here. I'm not talking about this horse has this problem, blah, 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 so they can't do dressage. I'm talking about just a normal average person saying, can my horse do dressage? And I'm telling you, yes, chances are your horse can do dressage. But let's just say you're going to get a new horse and you want to know, hey, I want to do dressage. And I want to be competitive, and I really want to know what are the things I should be looking for when I go out and look at these horses. Here's the thing about looking for a specific breed. I know this whole video is supposed to be about starter breeds, but I can't really go for that because every breed is different and every horse individually is different. I could say, hey, you know what would be great? I've really enjoyed the Dutch horses, but as much as my last 2B and the guy I have now are fantastic in the mine, there have been some really wackadoodle Dutch horses out there that you kind of look at and kind of go, eh. So I can't say, go for this breed. So I would say is, go for the mind. You teach this horse and train him, or is he pretty much saying, and I'm doing my own thing? If it's the latter, you might want to walk away. So let's just say, okay, you have a horse, you found this nice horse, and he has a really great mind. So what else can I look for? You need to look for 3 good gaits. That's optimum. If you can get 3 really good gaits, you're on a roll. With the 3 good gaits, do not. And I'm going to say, really, I'm going to be stressed this out. Do not get focused on the flashy trot. You got the flashiest trot in the world. If your walk sucks and your canter sucks, which chances are if the walk sucks, the canter sucks. It doesn't matter how great your flashy trot is, the judge is going to just go, because a flashy trot will not take you anywhere. I hate to say it, but half the stuff is in canter. The flashy trot will only take you so far. So if you can get 3 good gaits, you're well ahead of the game. If you find this horse that has a really good walk, a so-so trot, and a really good canter, that's okay too. You don't have to worry about the trot, because the funny thing about the trot is you can make a really good trot. The walk and the canters, well, you can improve them here and there with some pull work and different training tips. The walk and the canter are pretty much what they are. With that in mind, go for 3 great gaits. If you can only get 2, make sure it's the walk and the canter that are great.
But Nolan, I want a flashy trot.
Forget about flashy. Forget about, oh, that horse, he just floats across the ground, blah, blah, blah. Forget about that. Forget about that for 2 seconds, all right? What you want, especially beginning in dressage, what you want to do is get the horse that you can bring out, warm him up. Let's practice some shoulder in today. Okay, oh, that was a little tight there. Let's supple it through. Okay, great. We do something the other way. Great. Let's go for a 15-minute cool out, and we're done for the day. Okay, great. And tomorrow I'm going to bring you out, and I'm going to do some serpentines with you. Well, that was really nice. You can go back to the barn now. And the next day, I'm going to bring you out and we're going to play with some lengthening. Okay, great. And then we're going to go for a nice little hack at the end and we're all great. And you know what? That is perfect for amateurs and beginners. The reason why I bring this up is because everybody wants that big, flashy, woo horse that everyone stops and looks at. Those horses are really smart. And sometimes they're always like 10 steps ahead of you. I spoke about this in another video of mine, before I took the break, which is the secrets to dressage, which I'll link to up there, and I will link to it down below for you mobile users. And while I got a lot of flack for this video, like my goodness, the amount of negativity that came because obviously they don't get my humor. Every single time we're training, we're always doing great stuff. No, training does not do this. I'll talk about that in a different video. What I spoke about there is still on key. I still agree with it, which is you train the horse to do, let's say, a change. All right, you teach them to do a flying change. And now that horse is so smart, he's expecting to do a change all the time. So you can't keep your horse counter-cantering. And while comments will say, well, maybe you're not training well enough, or maybe you're not riding well enough to get the horse to turn cute. I'm sorry, when you're dealing with very special horses, and by special, I mean very athletic, very talented horses, they're already 10 steps ahead of you. So with an amateur, and especially a beginner amateur, it will only become frustrating. So forget about the flashy horse. That'll be down when you get a bit more knowledge under your belt, a bit more experience, and you can deal with those flashy horses in the future. But right now, you need to have that horse who comes out and you can play a bit and learn feels without the horse overreacting or being 10 steps ahead of you. There's a video online, and I will link to it down below, of Carl Hester speaking about this with Vallegra. This was when he was, I think, 5 years old. I couldn't agree with this man much more than I already do, because it's so true. When you start getting and dealing with these horses that are so athletic, so beautiful, so talented, chances are they aren't just going to let you sit up there and learn the ride. You have to be the one saying, oh gosh, I need to work on this. Because if not, they're going to do their own thing. They have read, as Carl said in this video, he has read the Dressage Bible or the textbook or whatever he said. But that's where the amateur and the beginner should not be dealing with this stuff. They need to work on your little triangle, your rhythm, your suppleness, learn contact, learn impulsion, learn your straightness, and learn how to get collection correctly. If you're always riding on the edge, trying to get there before the horse gets there while you're trying to learn it yourself, it's not good. Your relaxation, everything's going to be thrown out the door because you're always trying to be on top of the horse. And when you're an amateur and when you're a beginner dressage rider, you need a moment just to take a deep breath, work with it, and learn how to deal with it. And that's why the horse that will come out and lets you learn how to do shoulder in, or lets you learn how to better that leg yield, or lets you learn that renvers travers, whatever, that's the one you need to be dealing with. Another thing I'm going to say, and this goes for horse training in general, for beginners, do not go for the horse that's young and out in the field, and you guys are going to learn together. As you learn, the horse is going to learn. No. When doing dressage or any type of horsemanship, one of you needs to know what you're doing. Whether it's the horse or the rider, one of you needs to know what you're doing. Try to learn it all, and then you're going to teach another horse who doesn't know it. Not only is it stressful, but things are going to go down south, and it's not going to be happy or good for anybody. Even though you look down at that very pretty youngster out in the field, keep in the back of your mind, one of you needs to know what you're doing.
But Nolan,
I know what she's going to get to. I know what she's coming after. I know the question was for a specific breed, and there's no specific breed to give to a beginner rider. Because as I say, I can have a thoroughbred that would be perfect for me. And then I've seen thoroughbreds that have been flying down the road. Some people absolutely love percherons. Some people, percherons are the death of them. So what I would go for is the horse is mine. When you go try out horses or whatever, are they allowing you to push them a bit? Are they allowing you, when you ask them questions while in the saddle, are they trying to give an answer? They don't have to give the perfect answer, but do they try to give you an answer? Is the horse relaxed enough that you can learn on it? Or is it 10 steps ahead of you? Oh, I'm doing this now, I'm doing that, and that takes a lot of the fun out of things. Does it have 3 good gaits? Okay, remember, 2 main walking canters, but if you get 3, that's fantastic. So that's all I got for you. If you have any questions or advice yourself or some stories or whatever, hell, maybe if you just want to say hi, let me know down below. If you haven't followed me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff, friend me on Facebook, whatever, all the links are down below. And if you haven't already, you guys should subscribe. I'm making videos, I'm back on it, guys. Alright, so and that's pretty much it. Alright, thanks so much, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.